And that's where I'd love to see a break through this trend line so we can get Bitcoin up to 30K. Remember that we have an open CME gap at 28K along with 35,000 that is still open. Proof that the Russian central bank, the Central Bank of Russia, trialed XRP. So when you're just looking at the facts, whether you're into conspiracies or not, it is fascinating that some of the largest countries have trialed XRP. Now, are they just future-proofing? Do they have some major plan? You tell me. But I think it's very interesting, and that is another confluence to use during your research. What's up, guys? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. Let's kick it off. Alright, big thank you to all that hit the like button, and let's dive into today's video. First up, diving into Casper. So we talked about this at the end of yesterday's video and comparing them to Casper's supply. Now, a lot of people see the inflation rate, but if you just did basic math and understood where the supply would be even 10 or 15 years from today, the supply is still smaller than that of HBAR, ADA, XLM, Doge, XRP, a variety. And we had Abi reply right here, unfortunately, Casper is not listed in the DTI to be used in the new ISO 222 messaging format. So let's take a look at this tweet by Crypto Eddie, and we can see a list of native digital assets that have applied, passed, and issued a unique digital token identifier. The entire list is downloadable. XRP is number 724 on the list. So we can see this digital token identifier foundation and native digital tokens 102. We can see XRP right here. And of course, this list has most of the ISO tokens, including XLM, XDC, Algo. We can see XTC to no surprise, and Zinfin is massive, of course, with their connections to R3. And just remember that some of these projects have been around for several years. So for example, Zinfin or XTC, even when it was XTCE, has been around since 2018. So here's the XTC price chart on the daily time frame. You can see coming out in 2018 during the bear market. It has done a 45,000% move, which is over a 450x return, 450x. And the thing currently with XDC coming from, let's just use these swing lows to the current price, we're still up about 68x from the low. Now taking a look at the market cap, I still believe it has plenty of upside. Remember, they're going after trillions of dollars in trade finance. And it's still under $500 million market cap, so it definitely does have upside with proper adoption. So big thank you, Abi, for sharing this. Let me make sure I retweet this as well. And I would absolutely love to see Casper in this list in the future. Now remember, the team at Casper said they are also looking at ISO. And ISO in the scheme of things is an open global standard for financial information, so this is messaging. And it can be used for every kind of financial business transaction. And of course, it has already started this month in March of 2023. But we have to remember there's a lot more to the crypto asset class and really just the overall financial infrastructure today than just ISO messaging. So I just wanted to share another massive thing that Casper's working on, so definitely more excited for what Casper can do for financial contracts with the ACTUS standard. So remember Nucleus Finance at nucleusfinance.com, and this is built on Casper. We've talked about this a lot, so I'll try to be quick with this, but just remember, built on Casper. With the ACTUS standard, an algorithmic contract type unified standard, financial contracts themselves also need the help of interoperability or even being tokenized. So financial contracts are written by lawyers, have endless variables, including language, legal terminology, jurisdictions, etc. In this ACTUS standard, working with Casper is taking all of these variables and distilling them into a standardized pattern or algorithm. And then remember this, WM Dot Service establishes another important element for the digitalization of the security sector. So in yesterday's video, we talked about tokenization, the trillions of dollars that will be tokenized. And notice they partner with Nucleus Finance, their first partner, and this is built on Casper. So we can see their first partner in the tokenization as a service area, Nucleus Finance, so TAAS. Based on algorithmic smart financial contracts. Efficient, secure, and verifiable tokenization of the security is enabled. So Nucleus Finance and WM Dot Service will be focusing their TAAS service on certificates, warrants, and bonds. That's huge. Now remember that Siemens also recently sent a $60 million euro transaction on a bond recently. And remember, just a few months ago, Siemens, a massive company, also did a hackathon with Casper. Now, just so you guys understand how big this organization is, WM Dot Service, based in Frankfurt, we can see the central authority and data provider for the global financial market. Again, this is not some small mom and pop shop. So I actually just made this reply, and then I looked back at Casper, and look, they actually tweeted this 2 hours ago, so I retweeted it. We believe the ACTUS standard could bring about a true revolution in the future of finance. Computational algorithmic standard for describing financial contracts and their cash flows over time. So if Casper's already connected to WM Dot Service in Germany, a global provider, we can see they're bringing together economists and financial engineers in Zurich. And they're presenting all over the place. What was it, a couple months ago? Euro Finance Week. Casper was speaking alongside some of the world's largest banks and organizations in Europe. So really quick, financial contracts built on Casper, and there is more to the crypto asset class in the current financial system than just Swift ISO messaging. And the financial infrastructure we know today was built decades ago. We're talking 40, 50 years old, and it is yet to even be updated, and keep in mind that the internet came to be, and it still is yet to be updated. So I believe that Web3 and this technology will be stepping in to take the reins. So to be clear, I love my ISO tokens. I am very bullish long term on solving real problems at scale. But just make sure you don't get stuck with tunnel vision thinking only ISO tokens. We're looking for anything that is regulatory compliance and working with enterprises and governments. So here's a Bank for International Settlements document right here. And this is the central bank of all central banks. Now this is older, but we can see Committee on Payments and Settlement Systems. And remember, there are dozens of financial contracts in the world. We could talk about derivatives. We could talk about cash clearing contracts. Any type of contract between a buyer and seller. There's central counterparty. There's closeout contracts. There's long positions. There's closeout netting. So I just wanted to point that out, and remember that Casper initially is working on warrants, bonds, and certificates. And per an interview of Cliff Sarkin last year at Casper, we can see, remember that Casper is working with AMAG, AMAG. This is Switzerland's largest car dealer and importer. And development has already begun, so this is not speculation or, looking for funding. This is happening right now. And this is transforming the financial leasing experience of Switzerland's largest automotive company by enabling securitization of leasing contracts and registration of data. So that's a pretty interesting use case. Now, next up, we have Whale Alert. We can see more Tether is being minted. And if you look back at price action, when a lot of Tether is minted, it's usually to prop up the market, whether it's a retracement or a big market pump. So I thought that was pretty interesting. 1 billion Tether yet again. And we have this chart shared by Crypto Boss. This is Bitcoin. The last time Tether printed 2 billion USDT in one day was February 13th. So let's take a look at this chart. And you can see during this time, we're at the bottom of this channel, just starting out before a nice climb. We can see right here again, right at the bottom of the channel. And now we can see again at the bottom of the channel. Now, historically, the more times a trend line is hit, so here, here, and here, it gets weaker. Now we can see up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 8 times. So there's a high probability next time we actually ride up to this channel that this trend line will get weaker. That's where I'd love to see a break through this trend line so we can get Bitcoin up to 30K. Remember that we have an open CME gap at 28K along with 35,000 that is still open. We have King Solomon sharing IMF shares linked to Atlantic Council CBDC tracker. So 114 countries representing 95% of global GDP are exploring a central bank digital currency. And all G7 economies have now moved into the development stage of a CBDC and 9 cross-border wholesale CBDC tests. And remember that World Economic Forum document a couple years ago listing XRP, the digital asset, with a wholesale use case. We have Project Aber we've talked about Project Dunbar. And remember the Bank of France also had XRP in their document years ago, and also King Solomon previously shared proof that the Russian central bank, the Central Bank of Russia, trialed XRP. So when you're just looking at the facts, whether you're into conspiracies or not, it is fascinating that some of the largest countries have trialed XRP. Now, are they just future-proofing? Do they have some major plan? You tell me. But I think it's very interesting, and that is another confluence to use during your research. We can also see SNB, the Swiss National Bank. Remember the famous picture of Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO? He was alongside the International Monetary Fund and a few other huge players. And he was also speaking at the Swiss National Bank. JP Morgan's Onyx, boo. And remember the UK's Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, already said XRP is not a security, just like in Japan with the FSA. Thought this was a really cool tweet by Tokenizer, so we can see tokenized cash, central bank digital currencies. We have tokenized energy credits, RECs. We have tokenized data, on-chain analytics. We have tokenized businesses, dApps, decentralized or distributed applications. We have tokenized credentials, NFTs. Other types of credentials could also be called soul-bound tokens, meaning it is a token that cannot be transferred. So it could be your social security number, it could be your birthday, something that can never be transferred from you to another individual. We have tokenized functions, utility tokens, and then tokenized financial assets, security tokens. Now the securities token market is going to be huge. Swift already said by 2027 we could see volumes of $24 trillion. And remember what we were showing with Casper, talking about tokenization as a service for financial contracts. And blockchain, no doubt, will disrupt every sector. We have Matthew Liony, Project Icebreaker, breaking new paths in cross-border retail CBDC payments. And this just occurred this month, so interesting points. A CBDC was used as a bridge currency. And some siloed DLT platforms, Hyperledger Quorum and Cordo, were used. So we have Project Icebreaker, March 2023. So we have Israel, I believe we have Norway, and then Sweden. So this is a retail central bank digital currency, Israel, Norway, and Sweden. And I am super Norse, by the way. So we can see Hyperledger Besu, or however you say that, includes the Ethereum virtual machine. So the use of the NOK is a bridge currency, the CBDC. Interesting. And also, really quick, for a variety of alts, I'm still targeting the 500-day moving average for several that are still sitting low. And remember, there's been a variety of alts that already hit this level on the daily time frame, and some have even gone way higher. And last but not least, we have iTrustCapital linked in the top of the YouTube video description with some big pieces of news. And if you use that link and fund your account, you'll also get a $100 funding reward. Now, they announced a strategic technology integration with Fortress Trust, and I believe that Fortress is going to be very large in the future. They're very well funded. And they're a regulated, qualified custodian specializing in the custody of alternative assets including crypto, private securities, real estate, precious metals, and other asset classes. And it looks like iTrustCapital clients in the future will have access to additional investment opportunities and security features. So we're going to have an increased number of available crypto assets in the future, faster KYC, and additional alternative assets and fractional real estate and private placements. So now in a Roth IRA, paying 0% in capital gains, a tax-free investment vehicle that I do have some funds in. I don't go all in, but I want my net worth scattered. I'll soon be able to invest in fractionalized real estate and other types of private placements, and also earn interest on US dollar assets. So this is super exciting, guys. We can see interest will be generated from traditional safe compliance and highly liquid instruments, including FDIC-insured money market funds and short-term US Treasury instruments. And be sure to watch for more details on this in the future. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate if you could hit the like button, let me know your thoughts down below, and my link tree is linked in the top of this YouTube video description, with all links, crypto resources, and discounts. I'll catch you in the next one.